you see a lot of stones have been thrown from different angles, a lot of hate, jealousy. They never thought that a dream one day can come true, but Dubai made sure that your dream will always become true. No matter what obstacle that you have, no matter what chaos that you go through, no matter what pandemic things that come across, Dubai will make sure that we will cross those obstacles and we will make sure that you live happily ever after.
Has it changed a lot since what we've experienced from the war? Has properties gone down? Have people going through distress jails? How is that affecting the property market?
We got the highest attack numbers of missiles. And I never believed that, right? Unless when I saw the figures and I saw the numbers. And I was actually shocked to see that. And now I'm actually to be super proud, humbly proud to say that I'm part of this beloved country.
If we're choosing properties that make us feel ill, what's the point in living in those spaces? I would rather live in a place that makes me feel good. That is what EYWA is about. That is the values ingrained into their ethos, into their systems, into their people, into their construction.
Everyone has mimicked the same design, the same concept, and I think the future development, they will do the same concept and they will adopt the same concept because they will see that this is gonna attract a lot of people on the way of living, and they will understand that this is the best way of living.
Hi, Salem. Welcome.
And thank you for having me over here.
I think this is going to be such an exciting conversation, especially for me. You're like a jack of all trades. You've done like so much. You are a really, really successful entrepreneur. You're also a Netflix reality star.
Oh my
I think that's an exciting one. And yeah, but also above all that, you're Emirati.
Yes.
And we're sitting in a beautiful place, in a beautiful development in Dubai.
No doubt.
And being a part of this right now, right here, right now, during these times, I think is really, really important. So thank you for being with us. Before we dive deeper into our actual discussion for today, I just want you to talk a little bit about who's Salem.
Again, as you said, I'm proudly Emirati and thankful to be a citizen, a local, a son, a father, a brother, a cousin, a partner of this beloved country. UAE has given us great pleasure, opportunity, and gave us all these privileges since we were born, till we grew, till we found our path, till we found our family, till we find our career and our dream became true. This is the country where gave us all of these difficulties that everyone can have in different country, but yet in this peaceful atmosphere, UAE has shown the right path, shown the roadmap for not only for UAE national or locals, but also for expat to come over here to feel home, for a visitor to come over here and feel home. What does home mean? Home is a safety, home is a security, home is a mother, home is a father, home is where you feel that you are safe, where you feel that where you belong to the society. And this is what exactly the government of UAE, the ruler of UAE, has given us this part of a package.
Yeah, I totally second that. Having grown up here myself, I totally live the ethos and the values of what this region has given all the people, Emiratis, including expats. And that's the reason why I'm still here 40 years later. The thing is, we can't ignore the fact that we are in a situation right now when everyone's talking that Dubai's finished. The bubble is burst. Yes. The hype is over. Yeah. Well, is it?
To be honest with you, the rumors, we say that, you only throw the fruitful tree to get the fruits, right? So Dubai, since day one, since the blooming of Dubai, you see a lot of stones have been thrown from different angles, a lot of hate, a lot of jealousy, a lot of, pinpoints of Dubai, because they never thought that a dream one day can come true, a dream that, everyone, they thought that the dream will never be happening, right? But Dubai made sure that your dream will always become true. No matter what obstacle that you have, no matter what chaos that you go through, no matter what pandemic things that come across. But again, Dubai will make sure that we will cross those obstacles and we will make sure that you live happily ever after.
We live in an era where I think not just longevity as in from a lifespan or a health span is evolving, but also the way the buildings are developed. I feel like Dubai is so progressive in so many various things, but the one thing they haven't really hacked so well is the development of buildings per se. And the fact that we're sitting in a property like right now that is doing something super exceptional is totally changing what the wellness industry is about when it comes to developments. Would you be kind enough to elaborate on what that means for you?
I mean, see, being into the same line of field, I've been in the construction for the past 20 years, and I've seen so many things, so many, copy-paste of a project, non-compliance to the rules and regulation. People that are trying to bypass this system, they always try to find the cheapest way, material that to be used in the building just for the commercial part of it or just to sell it off, not understanding the human value, not understanding the effect of how these material that you will use in the building can affect in the long term, whether it's for your kids, your families, yourself living and being in the part of this society, not understanding that these obstacles can affect your health, can affect your longevity. You got my point? So that's why you see today the pharmaceutical, they're doing a great job, because you will see a lot of sicknesses, they will see a lot of wellness is being neglected because of that. The pharmaceutical is doing a great job. The hospital, they're doing amazing job. The longevity medicine is doing a great job because of these material, these elements is actually affecting our way day-to-day living. And not understanding that part of it and implementing those into our daily routine of living, obviously you will see the side effect. Obviously you will see the consequences affecting us in the health. And then we don't understand it's coming from where. Sometimes we think it's because of the external elements, but we don't understand that the internal elements is actually affecting us. And that's why you see the sicknesses being so spread so fast, not only because of the food, but also because of the way of living.
So what should investors be looking at when they're looking to invest in this region currently? Because right now I feel investors are investing in something that's built quick and they want a very fast ROI. But alternatively, a lot of people that are buying are looking for something completely different, right?
Yeah. See, I always do my best level actually to educate the clientele, right, onto the item that they're going to choose in the construction, or the material they're going to use in the construction. And I will try to push them away or let them avoid of choosing a cheap material or non-validated material into the construction just because of the sake of looking good and having it in a cheap price, rather than finding a good quality way of material that can last long and can give you a good future impact. So very few where you find someone who's actually taking care of that part and paying attention to the detail of, I will have family living over here, I will have children staying in this house or an apartment or a building in the future long term, whether would they last forever or will they exit this project in a very sooner way and then sell it off. So once you have an owner understand that part of it, being as a human, right, and paying attention to these details, for sure he will always attract these type of investor to invest and bring their families and live over here for a longer period.
The wonderful thing about the R.Evolution developer, which is the property that built now, which is EYWA that we're sitting in today, the wonderful thing about what they're trying to do is that they've really moved away from the traditional luxury real estate way of doing things. And they've moved towards the Generation 5.0 regenerative wellness development.
Yes.
Now, when people hear that, they don't understand what that means because that's something new to them.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate what that means?
See, being in this line of field, I've seen so many projects, so many buildings in a very weird way, and I've seen copy paste of existing project. Right? There is no innovation, there is no creativeness of building such thing. But to be honest with you, I'm not selling off. I got attracted to this project big time. I was so interested that I was so curious to understand from where the concept came. And then when you're talking about the 5 elements, and then you're talking about someone who's paying attention to the environment, someone paying attention to the ancient architectural construction, someone who's paying to the wellness of the project itself, it grabbed my attention immediately, just like that. And I said, you know what, I want to be part of it because this is something new that I never seen before. And this is something that I will really adopt and I will really educate myself to understand further and further. And this is how I will, I will also showcase similar things to my clientele who gonna come and let them understand that this thing that we used to understand that it is only built in the schools and the hospitals, but we never witnessed something like that to be built as a mass project which can attract investors from abroad.
It's incredible to think that someone like a developer like R.Evolution can create something so innovative when other developers have not thought about it in the same way. But do you think in many ways that's also a restriction because it's a new developer coming into the market? I always feel when there is a new developer coming into the market with something completely innovative and different, people look at it from a standpoint of like, okay, this is something new. People are so used to what it's like in the old. How do we change the mindset of people into thinking that this is the future, this is what people need to follow, and not the archaic way of thinking of how developers used to build buildings?
Yes. I mean, see, you will see a majority of the people, they like their comfort zone. They like to remain in the same conventional way of living, right? I mean, that's why you see a majority of the people, they try their best level to travel abroad to witness the culture, the atmosphere, the air, the space. And majority of us, we always travel to Europe just to feel the air, right? To breathe, to have that nature surrounding us, to feel that vibrant, right? To release the negativity that we have because of the toxic air, because of the commercial part of living, the smoke and the construction, the factories and all of that. But we don't have that fresh air. We don't have that living lively. The opposite, where you see when you see people are living in the Amazon, you see them, they're living in a longer period rather than those who are in the city. They're from the toxic material, from the chemical food, from all this stuff. So once you have that adapted into a project like this, obviously it will attract a lot of people. And especially when you're looking into a foreign investor who's coming over here, they always want to see something which is unique, something which is very creative, something which has not been done before. And this is all about Dubai. That's why Dubai want to be number one and all the time, because of the creativeness that they do. The renovation of every single thing that you see, new ideas, they will always attract those new ideas to be implemented in these projects. And this is how you attract expat. This is how you attract foreign investor to come over here. If you look into the transaction for the past, 2 to 3 years, imagine today we have almost 300 millions of transaction. You're talking about sales of 200 billion only in UAE, right? Which is not normal. You will never see it in any other place because of that single attraction of non-creativeness of other countries.
Because I've read in many research reports and studies about Business Bay, the hub of EYWA, where they decided to have their first ever development, that it has surpassed in sales revenue more than any other district in Dubai. Why is that the case? What is it about this particular development and area that makes it top notch?
You see the vision and the mission of the rulers of UAE, especially in Dubai, they always wanted to attract the people in a different mindset. When you're talking about a desert and then they didn't have anything over here, and then having a canal in the middle of a desert, that's something which is not normal, where you're doing something extraordinary. When you're talking about extraordinary, creating a water, right? Because a lot of people actually, they invested in a land where they wanted to be on the water and there's no space available, right? Because majority has been occupied, majority has been taken care of. So here where Dubai came is like, you know what, you want water? Let's do a canal in the middle of the city. Let's do a bridge in the middle of a building. Let's do a metro. Let's do all of these facilities, right? To allow the investor to have all these privileges regardless where they aim at. You want that canal to expand all the way to the middle of the country, they're going to do it sooner or later.
Do you think many buildings in the UAE have a lot of the similar amenities as EYWA? Because we're talking about Faraday caves in your room where it's blocking out EMF. We're talking about top of the line filtration systems. We're talking crystals embedded in the infrastructure of the building. We're talking about air quality. I don't think I have ever been inside a property that made me feel as good as I did when I'm in EYWA.
When you construct a building, usually the owner or the developer, they always lay on the consultant. So the consultant comes with these ideas to make sure that the building can be sold off, or the valuation of the building can increase to the maximum bidding price. So what I understood over here, actually the owner himself, right, the decision maker themselves, they came up with the idea. They didn't depend on the consultant. So they had the belief of taking care of this project, making sure that this project is actually a living being rather than it's a commercial building, right? When you're talking about a living being, it's like a human, right? Without air, you can't live. Without water, you can't survive. Without an atmosphere, you can't understand which culture you belong to. So when he added all these elements into this project, it made it very live. right? And instead of being into a solid building, a concrete building, without understanding the element which made or create this atmosphere and created this culture in this project. So the amenities, actually, when you have amenities in such building where you have the medical longevity will be provided for you, the water has been taken care of, the purity of the water so that you can take a shower, it doesn't affect your body, where you can drink, it doesn't affect your body internally or externally. The air itself has been purified to the level that you breathe as if you're breathing in the jungle, right? A fresh air unit system that has been purified. And then when you're talking about a lot of projects now, you will see, because of the humidity in Dubai and because of the heat and because of the temperature, you'll see a lot of molds actually has been built inside the project where they cannot find a solution for it. Now this project actually took care of that mold so that it doesn't affect people. They don't understand what does mold mean, right? It's like a bacteria to your body while we don't understand it, and then you breathe it. Your kids breathe that, right? So if you take that part of that element and you take it out and make sure that this has been taken care of, like similar to the hospital, right? So when you go to the clinic, you go to the hospital, you have to take care of, depending on the requirement and the authority they provide you with these specifications to be placed in these hospitals and schools or the clinics. Now, he has done the same thing over here in this building. So actually, he's taking care of your health without you understanding it.
That's beautiful. It's really a living supplement.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and when it comes to different types of certifications in buildings and in developments, a lot of property developers only focus one or the other.
Exactly.
So we have LEED, we have the WELL certification, we had Wired Scored, but EYWA as a developer got all of them.
Yes.
Because they really want to show trust and safety towards those that are buying it, not just from an investments perspective, but also a safe place to live with their families.
See, when you are parents, right, you don't take the permission of your kids. How do you want to live, right? So this is the same thing what he has done. So he considered himself as like a father to this place, right? So he made sure that whomever going to live over here, their family, kids. So asking for these certificates, each certificate has a requirement, and each requirement has a standards. So if you fulfill all these requirements and standards, that means you have fulfilled every need of every single specification of each country, right, or region that can be added on into this building without even the customer asking about it. Majority of the certificate over here based on the Dubai authority, and that's it, right? So 1-2 single certificate and you're done, and then you can proceed with the handover of the project. But once you have placed in different certificate to this project, it adds an extra value to it.
We have over 50 wellness amenities on the spa floor.
Exactly.
And thinking about that on its own, it feels like I'm living in my own longevity clinic, yeah. Right? So isn't that like just a massive selling point for anyone that's looking to invest? Exactly. Because there isn't a single property in Dubai that have
to be honest with you, Mary, it's not a selling point, it's a living point.
It's a living point.
Right? I mean, when you buy something, you buy it because that you want it. But when you buy something that you believe in, it's something else.
Yeah. Now that the market is where it's at today, has it changed a lot since the war and since what we've experienced from the war? And has properties gone down? Have people going through distress jails? How is that affecting the property market?
I mean, to be honest with you, you can't doubt the fact that any rumor can affect the economy, even a rumor. So when you're talking about a war happening over here, definitely is going to affect the markets, definitely going to affect the trust of a lot of expat investors and so on, because they don't understand what's going to happen in the future. But for those who understand the rulers of UAE, who understand the government of UAE, who understand the mission and the vision of this country, it's not about only taking care of the investor, but also making sure that the people over here are at a safe place, making sure that the people here can last long. They're going to live over here. They're going to remain in this beautiful country, right? So they did their best level, their maximum level to secure our interest, to secure our benefit, to secure our family, health, wealth, safety. If at this situation, and we never felt that we are at war. You got my point? The only thing that we saw is noise. We never saw anything. So imagine you've been protected by God, and then you're protected by the government, a protection that to the level that we never felt anything. We were going to work, kids are studying, our family, they're doing their daily routine. We never felt anything that there is something who's going to distract us from a daily routine. For those who are left, I don't blame them. You got my point? I'm pretty sure they're going to go back see what they're going to witness that the existing over here are actually back to their living, for sure they're going to come back.
Yeah, I know for a fact that a lot of people who've lived here a really long time have stayed because they really trust and have really high confidence in the leadership in the region. I'm one of those people, and I know so many who have, like the OGs who've stayed in
For
Dubai,
sure.
right?
I mean, when you have someone to protect you, why would you fear?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
When you understand who's protecting me, right? I will never fear of anything. And this is exactly what happened to the country of UAE. I mean, we got the highest attack numbers of missiles,
Yes.
the highest. And I never believed that, right? Unless when I saw the figures and I saw the numbers. And I was actually shocked to see that, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm actually to be super proud, and I'll be humbly proud to say that I'm part of this beloved country.
Yeah, and now I think like after what you said, people are just gonna maybe second guess or question why they are listening to all the propaganda that we're seeing online, because it's kind of normal that we're hyping it up too much outside than what it is in reality inside the country. Sure. And only the people that are in here like truly understand what it's like. Like I know I'm proud of what Revolution are doing. I'm proud of what they are trying to bring to the people, a better understanding. And they've launched this campaign. Yeah. You know, the campaign of giving away 2.5 million, which is about dirhams, which is about $680,000 to 10 families. Yes. And this relocation package.
This is only what you know. Trust me, we received, as a local, we received messages, direct messages, when the price of the oil went up. We got, imagine, 600 dirham each local person over here, each family, each person, right? Multiply that, a minimum of 1 million, that's 600 million. That's only on the oil hike. They compensated that to the locals. Imagine they gave almost 1,800 dirham as a cash back for the hike price on the food to every local in the UAE. Tell me, where you can find that? In which country, in any disaster? You've seen the disaster. I've seen the disaster in the States. Hurricanes, tornadoes, El Niños, all of it, you name it, right? Did anyone compensate? If it wasn't for the charity, it wasn't for the welfare who gave them that, but a part of the government, I never saw such a government providing such amenities, such facility to the locals in such manner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is like, there's nothing compares to anywhere in the world. Not from just a safety perspective. We've been kind of brought into a place that we didn't want to get into. Exactly. And they've handled it with insane crisis management, insane leadership. Exactly. So aside from what the government is doing, EYWA as a development, by Revolution as development, and EYWA as a property has now want to give this away to people. Yeah. And at the moment, it's just within the GCC MENA region. But we want to extend that experience to people to understand that why it's important to relocate to a place that is offering you so much more than just a building.
Exactly. I mean, once you have a vision like that, without having a proper infrastructure, you will never achieve such a dream. You got my point? Because of the infrastructure that you see in UAE, especially in Dubai, allowing all these investors to do their business, daily business in a smooth routine. Because of that infrastructure, because of the facility, because of the government support that allowing you to do such thing, right? Because if you can take similar project to another country where they don't have an infrastructure, you will take 10 years. I've been to so many business people in a different region, right? And they're always asking the same question, like, Salem, I have all the facility, I have all the money and everything, but yet in my own country, I couldn't do it. And I come over here, I can do a project similar to that in 2 years, while I can do the same project in my country for 10 years and 15 years and never deliver it. Yeah. You got my point? So because of that support, because of that infrastructure, it allows you to deliver such a project in a beautiful way.
So what would you like to say to all the investors out there on a project like EYWA who's offering this 2.5 million as
I mean,
to help people relocate
see,
here?
Dubai known as the land of opportunity, and this opportunity you won't find it anywhere.
Absolutely.
You got my point.
Absolutely.
Once you have such a facility, you have such an opportunity, you have such a gift actually is handed over to you. What else you want, right? And then where there is a zero tax on your income, zero tax on the real estate, zero tax on your capital gain. What else you want, right? And then you have a beautiful place to live within yourself and then within your family. I think that this is the best privilege that you can get. I think this is the best surprise gift you can give to yourself, right? Putting your money in a safe zone, putting your money in a safe project where there is a quality and there is a control of that quality. And then it's actually giving you a way of living where we say it's a longevity of living.
How can you give investors that peace of mind as somebody who is already in that space? What would you say to an investor today who is either, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to question their decision to kind of live here? We stated a lot of points from the safety perspective, the leadership perspective, this beautiful campaign that EYWA is offering. What can we give them to make them want to feel like, hey, Dubai is safe, this is the place you need to come, invest, stay, bring your family. We're going to make you grow exponentially, not just your current wealth, but for future generations.
I mean, see, Mary, you've been here for a long time, right? You've witnessed everything. I've born and raised and lived in this country, and I've seen all the disaster happen in front of me, right? And the good thing is that whenever I am in a disaster, I always smile because I understand we will bypass those disasters. And it's not just a talk. Dubai has shown and realistically, right? When the pandemic happened, nobody could believe that we can bypass those disasters. Nobody believed that we can bypass the 2008 bubble. Right? That was the disastrous moment of my life. But yet again, the support of the government, the injection. Imagine once that bubble happened, right? And everyone said Dubai is gone, the country is finished. It even was worse than this scenario that we're having today, right? But yet Dubai has showing and proven that we're incapable and able to inject so much projects, so much idea, so much innovation and creativeness in the government, in the structure itself, which allowed the people to not triple but extra triple their investment in this country. And this is exactly what happened. Nobody believed that we can cross such a 2008 disaster, and nobody believed that we can cross the pandemic, the pandemic situation. Nobody believed that we can cross even the war, what happened with Ukraine and Russia. But yet we keep bypassing all these problems, and we keep surviving, and we keep succeeding. You keep seeing every single day there is a development happen in this beautiful country.
Every single person I know who was in Dubai during those hard times and bought property then doubled and tripled and quadrupled what they invested back then.
For you to understand, Mary, we always say, we say it in Arabic, العقار ما يموت بس يمرض. That means the real estate doesn't die but gets sick.
The real estate does not die but gets sick.
Yes.
Okay, and now we're in the healing stage.
A very healing stage, and it's already healed, by the way.
Yeah, it's already healed. That's true. That's what we need to profess out there. It's already healed. We look at design and we look at architecture and we look at structure in buildings, but what is the one thing as an investor that they don't think about when they're looking to buy property?
Yeah. I mean, what they don't look about is actually the culture, the society that we are living in, right? I mean, it's not only a commercial, but when you have your children, your family living in a peaceful atmosphere, in a peaceful zone where you're not worried about them moving around, you're not worried about your requirement of your kids or your parents or your spouses, right? So imagine this project, you have everything built in this project, even the cooking, the chef. And I heard that also they're gonna plant their own fruits and vegetable within this project, right? So imagine you have one-stop shop in the same building, right? You don't have to waste the time calling your husband, calling your wife, go to the supermarket and get whatever, when you have a chef built in this project, where you have a hospital, a medical, everything, like, even the yoga is going to be over here,
yeah,
right? The longevity
absolutely.
process is going to be over here. So this is an opportunity, to be honest with you, right?
For a development to go on the amenity floor and have the best chef, have stem cell treatments, peptides, get all your biomarkers checked. You feel like you don't even need to leave this place. You don't want to leave this place.
That's why it's called home.
Yeah, right? Exactly. That's why it's called home. But yet we feel very stressed at home because of bad air quality, bad water quality. And we're more stressed at home than we were outside. Yeah. So I think that's the concept that people need to switch their mindset. And from thinking of, we spend so much of our time at home. Science has showed us that it's 80% is the feeling that it's based on lifestyle.
No, but
and our
Mary, pay
genetics.
attention to this. So you will see a lot of people actually they're trying to buy cheap property. But at the end of the
Yes,
day,
they
what
do.
they try to do, they try to renovate the property into the best way of living. You got my point. So they change the AC, they change the light, they change so many things, and then they end up paying extra money, right, for something that they bought for cheap. So they didn't do anything in advance to save it. So imagine that you go and invest in one place, you don't have to fix anything else, right? Everything is built there for you, for your requirement, and then for your future requirement. And this is how you smart thinking supposed to be for the investor to think smart way, rather than going for a cheap property, cheap development project, and finding something where you can pay at one time, right, in your life, and when you have everything for future living.
Everyone says, science says, so many people understand this based on research that we look at, and we think that our genetics are a cause for many of our diseases.
Yep.
But we both know
The external.
that it's not
Yes.
genetics that makes us what we
Yes.
are today.
Yes.
It's our environment.
Yes, sure.
And the environment isn't just where we are outside. The environment is where we live in
Exactly.
80% of the time.
Exactly.
And if we're choosing properties that make us feel ill, what's the point in living in those spaces? I would rather live in a place that makes me feel good,
Sure.
right? Because that is what the future of development is about.
Exactly.
And that is what R.Evolution has built. That is what EYWA is about. That is the values ingrained into their ethos, into their systems, into their people, into their construction, into everything that they live and breathe. And that's the reason why you and me are sitting here today, because we're massive advocates for the exact same thing. I've been in the wellness space for over 10 years. You don't even look your age. Let's just say that. Like, you look incredible for your age. And you are also a living, breathing, wellness advocate because of the way that you live your life. So I think, where we are at today and what we're looking to, where the future is headed and what we're trying to build is no longer just about the trends anymore.
Exactly.
We need to really understand what
it's
is
the energy that for me is like, I get a lot of compliments like that. And the reason why I feel like much younger or much healthier is because of the selective of how do I act and how do I react, where do I work, the atmosphere, the friends that I have with me. It's like I always choose the positive friends, successful friends, people who are always looking into the positive way of living rather than the negativity, right? I always try to avoid those type of mindsets. So again, in the living, in the same thing in the project, if you imagine you have that energy has been saved in this similar project. So when I came over here and I turned around, actually I felt the energy was like coming back to me, right? Because every selective item over here is taken care of. You got my point? Even the marble, the wood and everything. Try to understand now, when everything that you have or you touch in a conventional way of construction is a chemical base. And so now you have the door that you have, even it's wooden door, but it's coded from fire rated, right? So because of the civil defense, because it doesn't go on a fire. So imagine that's power coded. The aluminum, the glass, the marble, everything that you have, general element, conventional way of material, it's all chemical base. But if you turn that chemical base into a nature, into a health, into a longevity, definitely is going to affect your way of living, right? Even though the negativity of it, you come from your work and you're tired, exhausted, you come back home and then you see that you're electrified because of all the substance that you have in the project, in the building, or in your house, in your apartment, is affecting your body, is affecting your mind, it's affecting your energy, right? Obviously, you won't live in a proper, you'll always see yourself stressed out, you'll always see yourself tired or sick. Similar when you go to the hotels, right? There are selective hotel where highly educated. I remember I've been to China to one of the best hotels, Ritz-Carlton, and they had like almost 8 pillows on the bed, and I don't understand, like, why would you have 8 pillows on the bed? I'm an individual, right? So when I checked, they had in a card on each pillow describes the material which was in the pillow. So one pillow was for stress release, the other pillow was with cardamom tea and I don't know what, right? But I swear to God, the moment I slept in that bed, I felt like this is the first time in my life I sleep in that manner. So all of these material actually affect the human body. It affects your breathing, your thinking mechanism, your vision, every single thing gonna affect your way of living.
There's a lot of kids in the UAE and in Dubai that really experience asthma.
Yes.
And a lot of allergies.
Yes.
And a lot of the times, because they're not able to fix that for their children, they feel like they need to
because
leave.
of the mold.
Right, it's because of the mold, but also the air quality when you live in a desert outside based on the dust and sandstorms. It's extreme for a lot of children growing up here, which develop into adult allergies and problems, right, which they can't cope with. And then you go in a home and you have that same problem in your home. So that's another solution that EYWA has fixed.
Exactly. Because the
Right?
general construction, what they do actually, I mean, they do something called fresh air unit system. So that fresh air unit system transform the inflow and the outflow of the air within the project or the apartment or the villa to flow while not using the external facade. So the fresh air unit system gave a better solution. But when you're talking about EYWA took that in another level, right? Took that in another level in the way of actually purifying the air, so that when you breathe like as if you're in a safari or in a jungle or in in a plantation farm.
So I visited one of their properties actually in Latvia last year, and it's called Jurmala.
Yeah.
And Jurmala is known to have the most amount of pine trees. And just breathing the air there feels exactly like how I breathe the air here in EYWA.
Exactly.
And isn't it incredible that you can have that feeling when you are in a building that you can have when you're outdoors in nature? Like people would pay money to go there, but you don't need that when you can live in Dubai and have that same experience and same feeling.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things that we can't avoid externally, like our outside environment, but at least if there's one thing that we can control, we can control the environment we live in. So our shout out to everyone who's listening to this right now is that really do your research when you're trying to buy property. Check out this incredible package that EYWA is offering us right now, which is the 2.5 million dirham relocation package to move your family here, live in the best place until EYWA is built.
Covers everything.
You know, it covers your flights, your whole family, and that luxury lifestyle that you want elsewhere. You can have it in a place like Dubai that gives you so much more than just living.
I've seen so many projects, and I've witnessed so many crazy things that are in front of me, and it frustrates me where I cannot get involved into the decision making or changing the specification or the quality of the project, and then because of being a contractor, I have to follow the instruction and building the project. And then whenever I pass by, right, and I see similar project, and I always feel ashamed of saying that I have built that project, right? Because I've been forced to do certain ways of, bypassing the cost of the raw material of the project. But yet again, I do my best level, and this is how exactly I try to educate my audience or my clientele to choose the best of the best, and while it's coming for a project, for a building, or for a house that you're gonna live in. I always try to push myself to get involved into that, because when you're talking about locals, usually the government, they allocate for us 300 or 500 villas, and then we build those projects for the local families, and then they don't have a say in those selection, right? So as a contractor, I will always push myself and say, you know what, don't do this, avoid that, pay attention to this, try to rise the ceiling, because it's gonna affect the view or the lighting. The closer the light is gonna affect your vision. The closer the light is gonna be heated on the wall and on the doors, or they're gonna be heated in your body, and gonna affect your body. So I always try to put these advices to the client so that they can avoid it in the future, and this is why I loved the concept of the decision maker and the owners of EYWA, how they thought about all of these elements, where I used to educate all my clientele on the same basis. So to be honest with you, I say bravo to them. I congratulate them on this, and honestly, I really appreciate what they have done, and I really love what they have done. And I think that I will be so curious to see the future project that's gonna come. And I think I have a little bit of glimpse of what's coming up for the future, and I will be so keen to be a part of it, to get involved, and to see what they're gonna come for the future. And I'm honored, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because they have launched EYWA 2 now as well.
Yep.
So they have EYWA 1, which should be done by the end of this year. Yeah. And then they've just launched EYWA 2 as well at the beginning of this year. So that's really exciting. Both very unique projects, very different, but at the core of it is exactly the same. It's a living supplement.
Amazing.
And as somebody who is a well-known developer in the region and has been around for such a long time, very well respected, what do you think is the future of the wellness developers and the wellness development, and what it's like for the investors in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think everybody's going to adopt the same concept, because if you go now to the clinics, you go to the aesthetic clinics, you will see all of them, they're doing the same elements in their clinics. They're changing the hospital feel. Remember that when we are kids, we go to the hospital, and the moment you enter the hospital, you feel sick, right? Because of the colors, because of the design that they have done in these hospital and clinics. But now the future of the clinic, then the longevity, and then the elements of the internal facade that they have chosen, beautifully done, and everyone has mimicked the same design, the same concept. And I think the future development, they will do the same concept, and they will adopt the same concept, because they will see that this is going to attract a lot of people on the way of living, and they will understand that this is the best way of living.
You know what I love the most about Alex, who is the founder of this developer, is that whenever people say that they're just going to copy your project, that's what he says, please do.
Exactly.
I want every single person out there to have exactly what we're offering.
No, because you will be proud.
That.
You'll be proud to see someone copying your style. You'll always be proud of someone copying your method, or copying your attitude, or your tone, or anything, right? Something to be like, this is what you educated people to do. And then if they follow, then, bravo.
Yeah, because there's that saying, like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Exactly.
But I think it's more than just that for him. He really wants everyone to truly live well. So he's one person, but when you co-create and co-collaborate, like you said, we can do so much more together.
For sure.
Thank you, Salem, for this
really
incredible conversation.
Appreciate it.
And putting insights and awareness to where Dubai is currently, from economical standpoint, from a safety standpoint, and for investors to feel safe that they can come and invest here, and also to be a part of something as beautiful as EYWA.
Can I tell you something? I used to travel all over the world, every year, maybe 5 to 10 times. Since Dubai has given us all these privileges and spoiled us so much, I think the last time I remember I traveled was 2018. Since then, I never traveled, because I feel like this is my home, this is my vacation, this is my place where I can develop, this is the place where I meet, greet, introduce, gather, socialize. Everything is over here. I didn't have the feel of leaving this country and going somewhere else to find something that I can't find. Everything I wanted, I find it over here. Everything I wish for, I find it over here. Everything I want to dream of, it's in front of me. So I don't see the cause of me traveling any other place.
It's really the land that has opened up opportunities for everybody, but it's the city that never sleeps.
Exactly.
I believe every single dream that anyone wants, you can build it here.
The opportunity is everywhere. In Dubai, you wake up every single day, even though, like, thank God that we are fine, we're doing our maximum level, but every single day I wake up in the morning and I look for a different opportunity. And I always meet beautiful people. I always meet smart people. I always meet people with, with that dream. They came from a different country, and they can see that dream happening in front of their eyes, right? And I love to meet those people with different ideas, with different mindset, with different creativeness, right? And I keep learning every single day. I keep striving every single day, and I keep finding a different opportunity that I never thought in my life that one day I'll be part of a crypto society. I never even believed that one day I can be part of AI society, and today I'm into longevity development society. So this is Dubai. This is the opportunity that you can find every single day over here. Every minute, not even every single day, every minute of living, breathing in Dubai, there is a new opportunity.
Yeah, God bless the UAE.
God bless them too.